Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy Mega Meeple!
Greetings and welcome to the Mega Meeple, the show all about gamers and the games that bring them together. This is episode 71, and welcome to all of our new listeners. If you haven't already, go check out the Mega Meeple website. That's www.themegameeple.com. There you can listen to all of the other episodes that we have of the podcast, all previous 70 of them. You could binge listen all of them if you want. I wouldn't recommend it, but hey, you do you, you know. And also we have some reviews and news and blogs and blah, blah, blah. And if you go to our social media page on the website, there's the link to all of our social media stuff, the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the iTunes, you know, all the stuff you could follow the Mega Meeple. And you could go over to the Mega Meeple YouTube channel. There's a link to that as well on the website. I'll be talking about some of the things going on there later on. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Mega Meeple on iTunes. And while you're there, put out some of that 5-star loving. Give us a happy review. Really helps us out. All right, so what's going on here at the Mega Meeple Studios here? Well, actually, I got to be, we recorded. The episode hasn't come out yet. Probably be another few months before it hits the interwebs. But I got to be a guest on the Flores show, Board Game Land. So we recorded that this past weekend. So that was a lot of fun. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. So I will, so if you listen to Flip Flores, be looking for that. And of course, I'll put a link and talk about that in an upcoming episode once that episode goes live. And speaking of shows, I'm thinking of, I put this feeler, I floated a balloon out there about perhaps starting to put some vlogs on the Mega Meeple YouTube channel. I've seen quite a few people do vlogs for their channels just to let people know what they've been playing, what's coming down the pipeline. And I think that I'm going to start doing that as well for multiple reasons. One reason is just to get some more content onto the YouTube channel because that's always helpful. And also just by way of accountability. Because I know I have hours and hours and hours worth of raw footage that I filmed of unboxings and reviews, stuff like that. That it's one of those things where I just hate video editing. That's one of the. If this was a real job, this is one of the aspects of the job that I would hate. And that's just the whole editing stuff. So I think if I talk about in my vlog and I put out there that, hey, on such and such a time, I'm going to have a review of a particular game. Or such and such a manufacturer sent this game to me. I'm going to have a review of it. And that just, if I put that out there, that will just help, to hold my feet to the fire, so to speak, and get some accountability. So that way, when the month come and goes and I still haven't put the review out there, all of you viewers and listeners out there could go on my YouTube channel and say, hey, Thom, get your head out of your ass. You say you're going to do a review. You said such and such a video is going to come out. Where is it? So there you go. And so maybe I'm putting myself out there a little bit too far, but hey, I don't. I'm a small fish out there in the ocean of gamers and content creators. So, but I think the intent is that it will help me improve as a content creator, and just as far as putting stuff out there for those of you to enjoy it if you so choose. So what have I been playing? Well, always the new stuff. I mean, considering now that all these Kickstarters that we did over the past about a year or so ago has now started to get delivered. Just recently, I got Pulp Detective that showed up at the doorstep, so I'm going through that. It does have a 2-player variant, but I think in playing this game, I think it really shines as a solo player. In addition to Hostage Negotiator, I now have a other option available to play solo games, and that's in Pulp Detective. But so far, I'm enjoying it. There was a bit of a faux pas as far as the components. There's some the cubes were supposed to be one color, and it even dictates that particular thing in the rule book, but the actual components, the actual cubes that were produced was a different color. So the rule book may say put a red cube here. Well, there are no red cubes because they produced different. They wound up producing a different color of cubes. They have no red cubes in the box. And really, it doesn't do anything as far as the actual gameplay. But, if you're OCD, I can understand where something like that could really bug the hell out of you. But, as far as gameplay and enjoying of the game, that's neither here nor there. In the meantime, I'm getting ready to have my second annual Halloween gaming marathon that we have here at the Mega Meeple Studios here every Halloween, where we just get together and play horror-themed games. In fact, if those of you who watched my segments for October on the Dice Towers Board Game Breakfast, each week I'm going over my favorite horror-themed game to play on Halloween. And then so that's each week that comes out on the Dice Tower YouTube channel. But on the Mega Meeple YouTube channel, I will be going over my top 10 horror themed games to play on Halloween. So, because I think there's only like 5 Mondays or 5 weeks in October. So as far as the Dice Towers segments go, I'm only able to go through like 5 games. On the Mega Meeple YouTube channel, I'll go over my top 10. And in addition to that, for each game, I will also recommend a horror movie to watch to pair up with that particular game. So if you're into scary movies and scary games and Halloween, and if October is your favorite time of the year, you don't want to miss that. So that's coming out later on this month. I want to make sure that my Dice Tower segments get some mileage first before I come out with that video. Well, this week's guest is Kate Tessier of Raven Tales Games, talking about the current game on Kickstarter, Wardens. So this game has been getting quite a bit of buzz even before the Kickstarter launched. It's been getting quite a bit of buzz on the social media sites. And it's doing quite well on Kickstarter. So we have Kate on with us today to talk about that. So let's check that out right now. Welcome back to the Mega Meeple, and we have big surprise. We got another Kickstarter game guest here, and I think with it's been making quite a few splashes on social media. So I really don't see any problem with this puppy funding pretty quickly. But we have with us today Kate Tessier, and she's with Raven Tales Entertainment. How you doing, Kate?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you. How are you, Thomas?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. The beauty of the internet and technology. It's early morning my time and what late evening your time. So
No, it's like 4 p.m., so it's not that
okay, okay,
bad.
all right. So yeah, we like to say that. Well, okay, we know that the end of the world is not going to happen today because it's 4 p.m. or it's like tomorrow in Australia. So we know if Australia is still there, then the rest of the world is fine. So,
Absolutely.
but you just launched a Kickstarter here called Wardens board game. And yeah, it's going to be on Kickstarter. It's live now, and it's going to be going until November 6th. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so, well, first of all, just if you could tell us a little about yourself and basically how the gaming bug bit you, how you got into it.
Well, I'm a French Canadian from Quebec City. And, I've always been gaming a little bit with my family when I was a child, like those classic games like Milborn, Life, and Clue, and Monopoly, which actually I still play with my family not all the time, but when we have a gathering with the family, my nieces and my nephew and everything, we like to play those games. And I still enjoy them a lot because it's always a precious moment, with people you love, no matter what game it is. For me, it's always a precious moment. So, I started playing like real games when I moved into my first apartment downtown, and I was living right next to a local game store, which has thousands of games. And when I first got there, I was like blown away to see these so many different games. Those shelves covering every walls. It was so impressive for me, and I just wanted to try them all. So I was spending a lot of time there, and I really enjoyed, just trying new games all the time. It was quite amazing. And when I met Sam, my partner, who's working with me on Wardens, like almost 5 years ago now, he was already also a big board gamer, just like me. And in like one of our very first dates, we went in that local game store and we just played games for hours. And it was just so amazing to share this hobby together. And this quickly became a regular thing. We would just go there every time we could and try new games and slowly grow our collection. So this is at that time, like 5 years ago, that I really started playing like real, real games, real board games that are not Monopoly.
So that's pretty neat. So it was love at first game, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
So what are some of your favorite games, or do you have like a preference for particular mechanics in games, or what are you drawn to?
Well, everyone who knows me know that I'm a very unlucky person. I just cannot play any chance-based game like dice or cards-driven games, which are too random. I'll just get destroyed by my opponent like really easily. I'm just very bad with dice and everything. So I really enjoy, strategic games with mechanics like territory controls, unit placement, deck builder. I'm really not difficult. Like I said, I'll enjoy pretty much every games. I'll literally play any games, and I'll be able to have a good time. Doesn't matter which game I'll play, but like I'll have a little less fun if I play like King of Tokyo, which is really random. But like I will play them with my family and everything, and I will have fun. But I enjoy the challenge, I enjoy like having to think and strategize and develop like my way into the game. So those are all mechanics that actually we included into Wardens gameplay. And also I started enjoying co-op based game a lot. Because, like I said, I was playing with Sam a lot in this local game store, and he tend to always win. Like every game we'll play together, he will always win. So, so we started playing co-ops game a little bit to make it easier on me, and it was less frustrating to like just either lose together or win together,
There we go.
So,
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it personally about the dice. I think dice hates everybody. I think they're just not very, they're just not very social.
Well, I know people who like will roll the die and it's always going to be the right number, I'm not that person. Like it's always going to be the wrong number for me, but like I know people who are very lucky with them.
Yeah. There's usually at least one at the game table. It's like, yeah, do you have like some kind of a hex or kind of magic or something, or a spell, some kind of witchcraft spell that you casted on these things, or what do you who are you praying to that you get all these fantastic dice rolls? But
exactly, we need those tricks. Like, give us those tricks, people.
yes. Show us. Tell us your secrets. So, but yeah, let's get into Wardens. One of the cool things about the Wardens board game is, I mean, for me, it combines two of my favorite things is the H.P. Lovecraft and then steampunk. So
yes,
those are two things that I think really meld together and made me take a notice to the game. But so tell us how you came up with the idea of the game and how it was developed.
Sure. So it all started a couple years ago. Sam and I were spending all of our free time, playing games together. And, like slowly figuring out our favorite mechanics and favorite themes and gameplay, like what we just like. That was what we just talked about, like all the time. Every time we played a game, we were just, talking about, I like this gameplay. I like this mechanic. Things like that. And like one evening we were having a beer in a local pub, and this time we were actually not playing any games, which was something special for us, but we were still talking about it. So like all evening we were talking about games. We talked about, like I said, our favorite mechanics and everything. And I really don't know how this happened, but like the conversation turned into a kind of silly game where we just sorted out how the perfect game for us would be. Like our perfect game for us, for our preferences, like which theme we would want it to be and what kind of gameplay it would have. I even like got a pen and a paper from my purse, and we just like started writing down the mechanics and drawing little sketches of maps. It was very fun. Like it was just a nice evening at the bar, like just talking very not seriously, And I will always remember this night. We were like so passionate in our conversation and everything. Everything we said made so much sense, So we just continued this little game for a long time, actually, like for weeks. And we just became obsessed with this. We were talking about our perfect game literally all the time. But, this was just for fun. Like I said, like nothing serious. At that time, Sam was working in a video game company in Quebec as a concept artist and illustrator. And one day during his lunch break, he just started drawing a map and some characters and vehicles and templates of cards like that, just for fun. And he showed that to me in the evening after work, and I was so excited. It was amazing to see our ideas take life in front of our eyes, like we've been talking about this for a long time, and now he just came home with these illustrations. It was like amazing. So you can imagine that once we had the actual game in our hands, we just had no other choice than actually start working on the gameplay and like really actually design the game, So we worked on that for a couple months. But again, it was just for fun, like just for us and our close friends who actually enjoyed the game very much right at the beginning. So Sam continued to work on the artwork and he even designed some sculpts of miniatures like during his free time. It was such an amazing feeling to have our own little creation. But one day everything changed. Sam came back to work one evening and he told me that he had left his career in this video game company to work on our game and like to just make it happen. So
Wow.
we had never talked about this before, so so it was like a real surprise for me. But I really supported him, and I really believed in this game since the very beginning. So it just made sense to give it our energy and to just make it happen. So this is how we became board game designer.
That's pretty well. Yeah, that's when you talk about just sitting in the bar, a lot of ideas are devised. We call it like on the barroom napkin type thing, where you're
Yeah, exactly.
sitting around drinking some beers or whatever, and hey, I got this idea, and you just sketch it out on a piece of paper or napkin. And some of the best inventions and ideas are are penned and created that way. So
Absolutely, like just created in the corner of a bar in the dark, and like
that's pretty wild. I wonder how many bars in the world that can almost use that as a marketing thing. It's like, okay, this is the bar. You see that table back there? That is where this particular book or game or something that was
absolutely, like come
Yeah.
here to have the best ideas, a beer and an idea for $10 or something like that.
So yeah, let's get into how the game plays and how do you win the game. I'm thinking if Cthulhu is involved, winning is probably one chance in a million. So the way those style games work, but so yeah, just describe to us how the game plays and the mechanics.
Yes, absolutely. So Wardens is a 1 to 4 player game. It's an immersive strategy game which is set in a Lovecraftian and steampunk universe, like you said earlier. So there's one player who's going to take the role of Cthulhu and control his Legion of Starspan. So Cthulhu spreads madness over humanity. His goal is to drive the Wardens insane. Once a warden is insane, he becomes corrupted and he will be forced to play for Cthulhu against the other players. So this is something which is special. So like I said, there's one player who plays as Cthulhu and the other players will play as the wardens. So each warden control their designated steam-powered armies over like land, sky, and ocean. Each character is totally different. They have their own characteristic and abilities, and so they all have a totally different gameplay. So you have 4 characters here, and you have 4 different gameplays. So because of that, the Wardens must work as a co-op and battle against the Horde of Cthulhu. So they must work together if they want to succeed. So the goal of the Warden, besides not turning insane, obviously, is to travel this broken world in search of powerful ancient artifacts, which belong to elder gods. So if found, those artifacts will bring these elder gods back to life, and only them can stop Cthulhu. So basically, Wardens is a very immersive game. It has a very detailed and huge backstory, which explains the whole mythology and universe behind the game. It's not only inspired by the mythos, it's mostly inspired from ancient mythology, like the Knuckle civilizations and the ancient gods of our planets. So yeah, basically it's a huge strategic war between the Wardens' armies and Cthulhu's legion. There's a lot of unit placement, territory control, strategic battle mechanic. There's mind reading mechanics. There are many different cards, like ability cards, the artifact cards that also had a lot to the gameplay. So there's a lot going on here.
All right. So can you describe what the mind reading mechanic is? That's something a bit unique I haven't heard of.
So since it's a Cthulhu game and one player actually play as Cthulhu, it was important for us to bring this like nightmare thing into the game. So to create it, we designed this mind reading mechanic, which is used to go on expedition to find those artifacts. So how it goes is that the warden have different actions to spend every turn. So when they decide to do an expedition, Cthulhu will use a dial which has 4 different symbols. And each of those symbols will give Cthulhu very strong abilities. So like add 1 portal on the map, or make 1 move, or add star spawns, or like things like that. So like each symbol will give Cthulhu something. And so the warden will have specific number of guesses. And so depending on the strategy of Cthulhu, like maybe this turn Cthulhu needs more portals, or maybe Cthulhu is like 1 territory adjacent to a warden, so he will want to move this turn. So like the warden will need to think and try to go inside the head of Cthulhu to find out what his strategy is this turn, you know? So the warden will need to figure out which symbol Cthulhu want to use. So if the warden succeed in finding out the symbol, the warden will get ability cards and will have succeeded the expedition. And if the warden do not succeed to read Cthulhu's mind, then Cthulhu will have his symbol bonus, and this way he gets stronger every turn. So like doing the expeditions are quite a little scary for the wardens because Cthulhu gets very powerful with them.
Okay. Yeah, as he's ought to do. So it's bad enough he's already kind of powerful and making people insane, stuff like that. It's like, okay,
exactly.
Let's pour a little salt on the wound there. So.
Exactly. Like I can say that playing as the wardens is quite intense and a little bit scary because Cthulhu is so overpowered, and Cthulhu cannot be defeated by the wardens. He cannot die. Like he's a god, and the wardens are only human, you know. So it's pretty scary and like stressful.
Okay. Yeah, it has, as you talked about, it has different modes of play. You got of course, the 1 versus all, and then for all our solo players out there, we have the solo and the co-op. I guess when you're
absolutely. At first, it was only a 1 versus all mode, but you know the community asked a lot for a solo and a co-op. And so, you know, we made this game for the community, you know, we made this game for you, for the gamers. So it was important for us to listen to their suggestions. And we came out with a solo and co-op mode as well for them.
Very good. Very good. So, yeah, as we said, the Kickstarter is live now. It's going to go until November 6th. And 2018. Now, if people are listening months or even years down the line, and if they, you missed it. If they did miss the Kickstarter, is this going to be going to retail at some point, or how could they order it after the Kickstarter is done and over with?
We will be selling the core game in our website at raven-tales.com. You know, we will be at multiple conventions in the next season, so probably GenCon and Origins and more. So you guys will see us there. And there will probably be a distributor also for the game, which right now, before the Kickstarter, I cannot tell. But I'm pretty sure that once this go live, that there will be more news about this.
Okay, very good. And yeah, I will put a link to your website in the show notes of this episode, so you can check that out, as well as a link to the Kickstarter. So
Awesome.
definitely go and check that out. Well, Kate, thank you so much for joining us today. Very appreciate it very much. So yeah, if you like Cthulhu, you like steampunk, you want to take your chance trying to kill the old one. Now I gotta ask you is considering your history with dice, is there any dice in this game?
Yes, there are some dice in the game, especially for the co-op and solo mode. We had to came out with something because there is no player playing Cthulhu, so there is dice. But we bring them in a very fun way, which is not too random. Okay. And so if you're unlucky, it doesn't, change the whole game. So it's not that bad.
Okay, that's good. And the Kickstarter has a variety of different tiers. You can even upgrade to get a brass-plated metal Cthulhu.
Absolutely
looks pretty big. Looks pretty awesome. That looks like something that you just want to put on your shelf just for show.
Absolutely, that's the main idea of this because there's so many people who paint minis and those are amazing, and I wish I had this talent, but I don't have this talent, and I wish that my minis were cool to show off on a shelf. So this is why we came out with this brass-plated Cthulhu, which is absolutely amazing and beautiful and so detailed. So yeah, this is for all these non-painters, people who want to show their miniatures.
Okay, cool. They're looking at an estimated delivery of December 2019. So yeah,
absolutely, like in a year.
Yep. So if you have somebody on your Christmas gift, just tell them, hey, put this game on your Christmas, or hell, put this on your own Christmas list and tell people about it. Hey, you want to do your Christmas shopping a year early? Get me this game. There you go. So.
Absolutely.
All right, Kate. Well, thank you so much for being with us. And again, you got a beautiful looking game here. It looks pretty wild with the whole Lovecraftian and steampunk. But like I said, it's two of my favorite themes.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for inviting me. I had a lot of fun. And so the Kickstarter is live right now, so you guys can check it out. Thank you so much.
Well, alrighty then. Thank you so much for smashing that download button and listening to us. You want to make sure to do that again next week, as my guest is Carla Kopp from Weird Giraffe Games, and she's going to be talking about Dreams of Tomorrow. So you don't want to miss that. So thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this show and you want to support what we do here at the Mega Meeple, please go to our either our Pod Pledge page or our Patreon page and donate. Just $1 a month. That's fine. Hell, that's 25 cents an episode. My goodness, you can't even get a can of Pepsi from the vending machine for 25 cents. And here you're able to get, of course, you're able to get the episodes for free anyway. But, hey, if you want to get rid of the change out of your sofa, what better place to put it is towards your favorite Meeple, the Mega Meeple. I mean, something is, $1 a month, it helps out with the hosting costs and the hosting of both the podcast and the website and all the other logistical crap. Really helps out. And if you're not able to donate or support financially, there's another way you could support the show, and it won't cost you anything at all. And that's just spread the word. Tell your friends about the Mega Meeple. Free advertising. So, anyway, thank you so much for listening. we look forward to talking at you again next week. Until then, this is Thom Grogan, the Mega Meeple, saying I'll see you at the gaming table.